This is the disassembly, cleaning and reassembly of the Civivi Qubit Plunge Lock breakdown. So it'll be a little quieter video today, just showing you how to do your plunge lock assemblies. They're not as hard as it may seem, but take the pivot out, take the one body screw out. That is T8, that's wonderful. Then all you need to do for that is just take the one screw out of the pocket clip that's holding on to that back pillar. You don't have to take the entire clip off. And then go ahead and see if you can't poke it apart, but just remember, once you do, there's a spring in there that's going to go flying, so you kind of want to keep your hands covered over it till you can make sure you still have your spring, or it'll go flying and you just may never find it again. But alright, there's the spring, there's the plunge, there's the pivot, there's the blade, there's the bearings. And sometimes these just need a little encouragement to come apart. This is a good stop in here. There you go. You don't have to force anything, you just kind of wiggle things loose. Alright, so you have that clip screw here. Make sure you have all your parts. There it is. Completely blown out. We will now clean the bearings. Up, so 91%. Isopropyl. Just spin it in your fingers. Get all that crud out of there. That's good. And then just make sure these are clean and everything's rolling just fine. So that's good. You can clean the pivot off, anything that's gonna help. You can even do the spring. Just a full clean. I try to keep my knives as clean as possible after reused. Alright, let's go ahead and clean this thing of this blade. Make sure everything's on there. And then you can actually really want to put some alcohol in that plunge lock. Just clean off any surface debris on it. Okay. Washers. Now we can go ahead pivot in. It's captive, so it should fit flush. Make sure it gets really flush. You'll know when it's real flush when you can, yep, there it is. It's all the way seated down. And then you just kind of make sure everything's down. Then, depending on how you want, you put your bearings in. I do suggest to put some lubrication on it. I just simply do it like this. All you need is the bearings to, I'm going to go ahead and put the bearings in where the open face is toward the washers. Then I will go over here, put the blade in position like that. Go ahead and lubricate your other bearing. And the same way, I'm going to have the closed hitting blade. And then the outside hitting washer. Okay. This is going to be, I guess, the tricky part. I'm going to try and see if I can show you here. See if I can get some light. This plunge button here. You want to try to actually lift this blade up a little bit. There's a groove sitting right there. Go ahead and line that up with the hole and angle the plunge button in there until it can get in between into the scale through the hole and to where, just keep kind of lifting that and then can try to get it in between, keep that groove, get the plunge button up high enough. Tolerances is just really tight. It's just, alright, so you'll see that it's in the groove, and now you could do it halfway, and this will keep the button from coming out. This will keep, this was like this, you got the button in, and then you lift it a little bit to where it's halfway engaged and the button is in. So the button is being held down and not going anywhere. Be careful of the blade. Now, put your bearing back on, or do that first and then put the bearings on. However, but this is where people, this is where it could really go wrong, is this dang spring here. If you wanted more, what feels like a detent, you can stretch this spring out a little bit to give it a little bit tighter if you want. But to me, mine is perfect, so to me it feels perfect, so I'm just gonna leave mine as it is. So as like you're stacking or building a house or building something from the ground up, like a Lego's house or something, put the scale down, put everything in, it's layer by layer by layer. So you put the scale, the pivot in, the blade in, then we kind of got the plunge button in there in between to where it is set and engaged, and then we put the screw or the spring on top. And now for the finale of this is the hole that is in here. You want to line that up as directly over in as much as possible. Try and show this, but it's hard. But you could also just hover and feel. Actually, I could feel that the spring just went in the hole, and as it's directly over, just go straight down and keep the pressure down so that spring doesn't go flying. At that point, keep it in together, and then that you'll hear a click, hopefully, if everything goes right, and hopefully that came across, and it is perfectly seated. You can see that I don't know if you can really see, but it's all the way in, and the other side is all the way seated and all the way flush. So we know, and the button is working, so we know it's working. And I always like to pinch it to make sure, once everything's tight, that we're going to be looking centered. Doesn't look like that so far, but we will go ahead and fix it as we go. First, we will go ahead and put the pivot in. Just go ahead and close it for now. And then put the T8. Make sure you're catching those threads right. Just put it in just enough to snug everything. Just to keep everything together, because I kind of want to leave it a little loose. Close it back up. Put your body screw in. Now when you're down in this part, make sure you come in, it's all the way in, and just screw it to a nice snugness. Then go on the other side, snugness. Make sure everything's snugness. Alright. Then go ahead and take your clip screw, the one that went into the pillar, very gently screw that back in to a nice snugness. Everything's good. I don't know if this is the original clip before I put it on, but it's okay clip. But in any case, right now, blade play very loose, but it is working, and it is off center a little bit. We knew that. Now we'll go ahead and see if we can't tighten that up to 2. Perfect. Plunge locks can be difficult if you lose that spring, or if you're just impatient. I always, even if you're not going to upload or anything like that, just if you're unsure about a knife you're taking apart, just why don't you could always just film yourself or film it, or look up a tutorial on YouTube. But if they don't, for some reason, you can't find one, or it's just not the same, or what have you, or if it's your specific unit you want to look at, then you could re-record yourself actually seeing as it goes when you take it apart. Okay, that is what goes there, that is what goes there, that is what goes there. You can reverse engineer it. reverse, back engineer type deal. That way, you're not frustrated to the point where that knife you can't put it back together. You gotta send it back in or what have you. You should be able to take apart and put together any knife. Now, not all knives are treated equal. It's just some are much more complex. Some are just very simple. And even these plunge locks can be very simple if it's done right, and you just come at it with the respected needs for the springs on these knives. But that'll do it. This is Jimmy with the Cutter's Edge. I'll be changing my channel name soon here. I just gotta wait 14 days from about 5 days ago. I just learned I only have 2 chances to change my name, and it's been under the same name for I don't know, almost 14 days. So after that, I'll be changing it, and then we'll go from there. But that'll do it. This is Jimmy with Cutter's Edge, and that was a breakdown of the Civivi Qubit. Alright, you guys have a wonderful one, and stay safe and have fun. Okay, bye-bye.